Cody, I need to type in.
Florida, they got.
I guess it's better. It's better than the music video they've been doing. Those Canadian teams, right?
Welcome back to a special.
Which team had the worst one?
Playoff edition.
Good evening, everybody. How's everybody doing tonight?
Gentlemen, first of all, I'd like to say congratulations, Cody, on your graduation.
He finally got to delete the Canvas app. Everybody, congratulate him on that.
Gotta rock the.
Cody's ready to pass out after all this content.
Soul.
There we go. There we go.
Nice.
Go
Nice.
Knowles, baby.
There we go.
Dominating baseball today. Yes, sir. 20-9 victory.
You're an alumni now.
We all got through graduation here. Nick graduated, what, 30 years ago?
Yeah, 30 years ago tomorrow.
Is he that old?
If you guys don't know the story, when Nick asked to be part of this community once upon a time, I thought the dude was like 10, 15 years my senior.
Yeah.
Oh,
Which is
okay.
Because you want to know why I thought you were like so
the way I
old?
talked about the Cowboys. Yes.
Yes. That's like.
And I thought you were traveling all the time when you came.
Yeah, traveling for work.
Audio only for everyone that doesn't come by on our post-game show.
Wife, kids, both.
Nick kept his life very secretive. We didn't know we were.
Like, oh, fuck, I'm 18. The fuck am I going to have a wife and kids for?
I ended up being the youngest one when everybody thought I was the oldest.
Yeah. Look at how about that? Got Canadian Ryan in the chat. Nando.
There we go.
What was I going to say? Yeah, we've been doing recording all night here. We had a great podcast episode, gentlemen. So we're going to let Caesar run the ship here tonight.
Scheduled to be up tomorrow morning.
Yeah, it's going to go up tonight on the audio side, right, Cody, and in the morning on the YouTube
I
side?
put the audio set for like 6 a.m.
Okay.
Because I figured no one's going to listen tonight anyway. So
Yeah, it might be a long night. It would be on Sunday. And we were going to do this originally Saturday, but with Cody's graduation, and we had to see how the first round was going to wrap up here to make our second round picks. We'll go through how we did in the first round. We did not bad, guys. I think we did a little worse.
I think all of us were 6-2.
What's that?
I think all of us were 6-2.
Oh, Cody, I thought you went 7-1.
No, I looked. I forgot I picked LA. I thought
Caesar
Blame Nick for that.
Yeah, that was my bad. I could have gone 7-1, but it's all right because
you haven't an LA script exactly right.
Who got the Toronto one exactly right, Mister? They're gonna win in 7, and now look who we're playing.
You called me on a one series I was slightly wrong on. We
slightly. You said Ottawa in 7. It was Toronto in 6.
What's going on, Jimmy?
Oh, Jimmy
on that.
Yep. How's it going, Die Hard?
But yeah, what a series end. What an end to the first round. What did you guys think of today's game?
I think St. Louis, the most hated man in St. Louis right now.
I think St. Louis is, then their fans should be in shambles right about now.
Yeah.
Adam Lowry, who I have always loved, Calgary, Alberta's own guy. Like everyone questions, he should be wearing a captaincy. He comes through in the clutch to not only win the game in overtime, but send the game to overtime. Go watch that.
Nothing like a clutch Game 7 goal after they had to come back from 2 goals against the wild card team as the 1 seed.
So we're going to play it here for anybody that missed it. We'll play a little bit here since I missed it. I was on here getting ready. So let's take a look.
Connor back up the boards for Peon. Peon shoots. Score! The Jets win it on the deflection. The Winnipeg Jets will move on to face the Dallas Stars. Looked like it deflected off Lowry. Scott Arniel and the Jets win Game 7 in double overtime.
Wow. I
Did they
mean,
have
that would have
people-
been.
Did they have people at the rink tonight there, Nick, calling that game?
I don't know.
An air-
Probably not. Probably.
I think so, they did.
I don't know how they get to Winnipeg. They, don't have an
did.
airport.
They did. They did.
They do have an airport. I've been there. Another guy I want to give a shout to, Neil Pionk. Wish we would had a chance to get him this summer, but he did sign with Winnipeg. How much minutes did he play tonight? 45 minutes?
Something like that. It was like at 40 minutes, 80 minutes in.
I got another clip there for you, Caesar. Like father, like son, if you can get that one ready. It's in our After Dark chat there.
Yep. Let me go check it out.
You only like this guy because of his damn dad. Like,
That's one of the reasons. If you grew up during that time, Dave Lowry had, how much goals did he have in that 96 playoff run? 12 goals? 13 goals? It might have been 12. Someone should fact check on that one. But yeah, Adam Lowry winning it for Winnipeg here. I had Winnipeg in 7. Nick, how did you do with your picks?
I think I went 6 for 8. Not bad.
Did
Not
you?
bad.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean,
We'll pull it out.
we're
Neil
gonna-
Pionk at 46.
I got Colorado wrong. I got LA wrong over Edmonton. I got the East completely right.
Oh, you went 4 for 4 on the East.
I think pick Vegas over Minnesota, Winnipeg over St. Louis. Yeah.
I think I would have picked Toronto in any other series. I don't know.
Whatever. Blow it out your ass.
I would
It
have.
doesn't matter.
You
Blow
thought
it out your
Shane
ass.
Pinto would have been a fucking game changer over
It
here.
was. That's why he sent it to Game 6.
He didn't send shit to game 6.
Him and Sanderson. Nope. One of the stars of the player. Even Mike Johnson said that. Here it is, Caesar. Just the first goal here, Caesar. Like father, like son. Panther fans. This is before high definition.
I remember this.
43rd save of the game for John Van Beesbrook. And the Panthers skate out with it. Jovanovski rolls it in. Lowry, Mellenby, and Barnes up front as they crash in behind the net. Feed the point. Jovanovski shot, scored!
Yep, just like his son.
And the Panthers have tied the series.
Is that Cuthbert?
Yeah.
That's
Wow.
it there, Caesar. The other one.
able to play
That's
it off.
the other one. Yeah.
But
Same
what a
type of
moment.
goals.
What a
Yeah,
moment.
Yeah, fucking Shane Pinto over here with 2 fucking points.
James,
What
get
a
off.
player. He should be on Team USA. according
Well,
to-
we've got Cody can be pissy all he wants about this, Nick, but we got more Mason Marshman hockey ahead.
Oh yeah, that's
All
right.
the stars. Let's get excited here.
Like, how about this?
Oh,
But,
no more
hey,
Nathan McKinnon and
and my
Calgary,
guy, Y. Johnson.
Hey,
no more Calgary, Alberta's own Braden Point and
Hey.
Kel McCarr, but that's all right.
we got
Hey.
Adam Lowry.
But,
That's all right.
but speaking of this, talking about the Dallas Stars, I wonder how many people feel fucking stupid for thinking Mikko Rantanen wasn't gonna pop out in this series.
I was told we didn't want to pay him more than Barkov.
We were told that on the post-game show a lot, gentlemen, weren't we?
Yeah. He's not a playoff performer, guys.
He's only 5th or 6th all-time in playoff.
He's only the best playoff performer in the NHL currently, probably.
Didn't other people say he was a Nathan McKinnon merchant as well?
Yeah, and guess what? He only had 11 points in 3 games.
And Cody even
Crazy.
said this. Cody was one of the first ones to say this. Everyone, and Nick, you got on this a little bit when he went to Carolina. Everyone relax, give him some games here. Well, Carolina didn't give him
I
too
don't
many.
think he would have been a good fit in Carolina. I just don't. I think he's
I
better.
think he would have been.
I don't think. I think at that point, we didn't want to be there. It wasn't going to work out.
Cody has always implored this, and one of my former co-hosts used to say it all the time too. They have no game changers, and then they go make that move in a window that they want to win now, and they're like, "Nah, we're gonna flip you." But you should just ran it with them. Like, this is an honest year where Carolina has a chance to go to the cup.
Listen, if I had the chance to get Mikko Rantanen,
I'm delusional if I want to pay him more than Barkov. Well, if we can get him, yeah.
if I'm getting Mikko Rantanen, yeah, I'm
You're going
gonna.
off Barkov money from years ago, though, Matthew.
Right?
Now that language is starting to change for me because it's no longer a flat cap era.
Yeah.
Before the flat cap, I abided by that rule.
If we
Now
had,
you're gonna have to break it.
If we had gotten him, do
True,
you
Coach.
guys honestly, Matthew? If we got him, do you honestly think we wouldn't have paid him more than Barkov? He would have gotten more.
And Matthew, you think if we didn't get him and move Bennett / Ekblad / Verhaeghe, we wouldn't be a better team?
Oh yeah.
Beth Jones
I think-
and Marshawn.
You guys kind of convinced me that we would.
I just realized I just realized you didn't say the one guy I think the Panthers would have traded.
Same as
Again,
Skevich.
No, Verhage. I thought Verhage would have
Well,
been the
I said
first one.
Verhage. I said
Yeah, we did
Yeah.
say Verhage.
But
I
if
would
you
move Verhage and Ekblad for Rantanen.
would have switched out Ekblad,
I got Jones.
The money wasn't the issue, guys.
the money's never the
The money
issue.
wasn't the issue.
It said no
No,
trade
we've
clause
done the
by
math. We've
Verhage.
done the numbers.
And you want to know what the issue was? Was the fact that Colorado traded him to Carolina, and Carolina didn't want to trade him to us.
Cody,
Or-
tell everyone what Rantanen's making. It's the same as Verhage.
Like it's like I forget what
Right
his
now,
deal is.
yeah. Next year, no.
Yeah, right now. Well, I'm talking right now.
Yeah, but remember it was also retained, so we would have gotten him for less money. Like
It works for a win now.
Matthew says Verhage was asked. He said no.
Well,
'cause you heard-
Matthew, I'm not debating that part.
yeah, like no, I'm not debating
If
that.
that's
part.
true,
Ekblad and
then-
Bennett are just floating
If
around
that's
still.
true, then it doesn't matter. That's
He's
it.
He's
Money
making
doesn't matter. Nothing matters because you can't
he's-
make the trade
he's
work.
making $12 million a year after this.
But the
which
reason
is
we're bringing this
worth
up is
it.
because this was a topic in our community, and we're waiting to bring this back to the table. We're not saying, hey, we're in the playoffs right now. We have the roster that we have. But this was a big debate with our fan base that said they didn't want him. Who else did they say that about? Cody, you were with me that night. Matthew Tkachuk.
Yep.
I mean,
And what about
all I'll say is this. I think
wait,
Mikko
what
Rantanen-
about our best defenseman from last round too?
Yeah.
Well,
Except
people
Jones.
just want
I
him.
think
He's
people
on.
people think the Kachuk trade was big. I think Rantanen arguably is just as good, if not better, and then a bigger move than Kachuk would have been.
No, like the original move to him to Carolina was seismic
Yeah.
because
And after that, it was.
because I was terrified when Rantanen went to Carolina. I'm like, oh fuck, because that was the one piece they were fucking missing.
Yeah, and I was likely going to pick Carolina to make a final appearance. And again, Panther fans, don't get mad at me. It's hard to go to back Stanley Cups, okay? And this was a huge hurdle getting over Tampa. But Carolina, don't be mistaken, they would have been a real tough out with Rantanen in the fold.
But if you guys think that Zito wouldn't have paid Rantanen that $12 million, I think you're absolutely insane. Look, Zito's when he sees an opportunity to improve the team, he's gonna fucking take it.
I mean, Barkov, Reinhart, Kachuk, Rantanen. I mean, whatever.
Barkov, Reinhart, Rantanen, you're telling me like you're
Barkov
gonna-
and Rantanen's a cheat code. And then if you keep Reinhardt on that line,
fuck me.
or
have
you go
two-
for Hagee, Barkov, Rantanen.
You have 250
Or
goals
Hagee
for-
wouldn't be a Panther anymore, Kirby.
Well, it wasn't in that situation. I would have traded Ekblad or Bennett. But anyways.
Yeah, like if we're not re-signing Bennett, I would have traded him for Rantanen in a heartbeat. I would have drove him to the airport.
And the people that say you're going to ruin the chemistry in the room. Okay, well, are we
If-
trying to win just this year? Or are we
Sam
trying
says
to
he
win?
was a huge advocate for Rantanen at 12.
like here's the thing. We would have had fucking Barkov down the middle and 250 goal scorers on either side of him.
And you got Lundell bumped up to the second line center, which you did
Kachuk.
And
with
then we
really
coulda-
good.
And then we probably could have got a center somewhere.
And you're still going to improve the defense.
Nelson.
Because everyone's like, how does the Knight and Jones thing work? Well, how does the Jones thing work? We traded Knight for him. Like, it's a separate trade. You
And
know?
Rantanen's making around the same that Verhage is this year. But Evan, we're rehashing old things.
I know, but it's good to come back to it. We'll probably
but
come back. more.
They stated the extension
I don't
was the
think
issue
they
why
did.
they didn't. I don't believe that for a second.
Hmm.
I think
Where did they
Carolina.
state that?
I think Carolina asked for more for something that I think Carolina asked more from us than what Dallas was offering, or what they asked from
Potential.
Dallas.
We could have beat that offer of Stankoven.
Yeah, we could have.
I like
but
Stankoven.
But I think Carolina was zeroing on Dallas because guess what? They're not trading him in conference, especially to a team that you're gonna
I
see.
think we could have done Verhage and the 26 first and the 28 first, because that Jones thing has the option. And then if you want to move a Divine or whatever,
If they said, "Hey, let us get Mackey," I'm trading Mackey too.
I would too. If they wanted Verhage, Mackey, and 2 first, I would have done it.
Like
Because
if that
another guy on the wing.
if
Then,
that's
yeah, and it is what it is.
if that's what took them, if that's what it took, then that's what you do. Because Mikko
And we're not
Rantanen,
saying this because of this performance last night. You, Cody, you, me, and Nick were there the whole time.
Yeah, I did it.
Watched
Yeah,
a
I'm
lot.
going to be honest. The Dallas thing, like, it
yeah.
didn't,
If the
didn't
problem
matter
was,
to me how he was playing down the stretch. Just you know the types of players. You don't put
He-
up
he-
the numbers he does if you're not a really damn good player. I don't care who you play with.
There's Pete DeBoer, the Michael Jordan of head coaching here.
Here we go.
You know who else is undefeated in Game 7s?
Oh, I know.
The masterclass himself.
Mr. Masterclass Maurice.
You need to
Money
have your
Maurice.
gifts ready there, Nick.
Money Maurice.
There we go. Well,
But here's the thing: but like
Comes money.
when it comes down to trades, and I believe this wholeheartedly. I don't care what anyone says. If a player has an NMC and they don't want to waive it,
Doesn't matter.
I will not get mad at them for not
You
waiving
gave it
an
to him
NMC.
for a reason.
Yeah, that's fair. But if you go
And-
ask the player, it starts to create things. That's why Leaf fans are talking about this ranting and thing right now. And how's Mitch Martin in the second round and going forward? They're looking at that, you know.
Yeah, and I wonder if, because here's the thing, I still think I still think Carolina circles back on him in free agency if he does make it to free agency. But anyway about that. But round 2 here we have 4
so
great
we got
matchups.
We actually got
the
the
Florida
schedule.
Panthers just released the times for
Games
3
3 and 4.
Very
7,
interesting. Yeah, we didn't
So-
talk about this on the podcast.
What, 7 and 7:30, or is it 7
Yep,
and 7?
7 p.m. for game 3 and 7:30 for game 4. Mother's
Oh,
Day.
I told you guys, no matinee game.
Thank
I
God.
said against Toronto, no matinee.
Um,
People are going to be livid.
are you
on
guys
that.
surprised we didn't get a Saturday game?
yes.
Kind of.
Very
But
much.
but here's the thing, I'm not
Cody, just to
opposed.
jump in, is that disrespect? And they're giving the Florida the stage to Alexander Ovechkin,
No,
the American audience. No,
it's Alexander Ovechkin.
I'm surprised.
I heard
I'm surprised they didn't cave to the center of the hockey universe.
Well, they are Canadian.
Yeah, like, because here's the thing: if you're gonna give the spotlight to somebody, and you give it to Alex Ovechkin, I'm not gonna be mad at it.
See,
No.
Matthew wanted that early time. I told you guys weren't getting that with Toronto. I'm surprised, Caesar, we didn't get the Saturday.
You want the early times? Then again, I probably would
I
too.
don't. We never play well in early times.
But people are going to complain if the game goes to overtime on Sunday night, and it's going to mess
Well,
up.
this is playoff hockey. I'm sorry. Like,
Damn right, Caesar.
like,
Hey,
the players don't have to go home after this. So,
Well,
you
they
know,
gotta go. They gotta go to Toronto.
well, they
I
do
will-
have to go, but
Caesar
They
gets
gotta go
look,
to Toronto.
I know a lot of you out there they stayed up and watched that freaking Hurricane Cow game up to like 1 a.m. Want to hear none?
Yeah.
Though I'm not happy with these times because for the second straight fucking round, the Panthers and the Celtics are playing at the same damn time.
Whatever.
Die Hard, you were right.
Kirby, all I'll say is
I
this:
thought Saturday.
the Panthers better be on the bigger screen at Cody's house.
They are. Like
Okay.
that, the big screen right there, and my monitor right here.
There you go. That's how
Okay,
it works.
okay,
This
okay.
is how it works.
And
We'll
Cody's
forgive you
listening
this
to the
time.
hockey analysis, so he can do the post game.
Yeah, but if
Because last time I checked, Cody ain't doing no Celtics or Dolphins.
No.
Right.
no, but if you hear me scream,
Celtics content creators do their thing. You're a Panther. Content.
but if I scream and one during spaces, you know why.
Oh boy. But to put him on mute. Put yourself on mute.
shout out to Armando.
Oh, he
Putting
put
it
it out
out.
there. See?
Put it
I
out
told
there.
you
There we
guys.
go.
Watch all the Dave Lowry tweets now. I can't tweet here because I want.
Anyways, let's go through the now that the second round opponents are set. Do we want to go through who
What,
are
our matchup picks already?
Yeah.
Well, we got to
already-
recap how we did first.
Yeah.
Well-
Damn, Nick. You're already jumping segments here.
It is late. It has been a long day. So let's jump on it. Let's
Caesar
go.
might not have it ready to go.
Do I have to talk about the fucking Panthers Leaf series again?
No, just make a brief statement if you want.
Um,
Again, we've given our takes on Spaces X pregame show over on Twitter X there, you and I, Nick. And then Cody, you and I on the podcast episode is going to drop here, but Caesar hasn't given his picks yet here.
Yeah,
Yes,
so,
and special thanks to Zach for joining us.
but yes, Zach, that was fun. And
It was a lot of fun.
let's just start with the recap here. Let's do it real quick.
Do we got the same slide from last time? So we can
What slide?
the bracket.
I gotta log in, so give me a few minutes, guys.
Now, do I have to go with
The bracket? Give me a sec.
So for our the second round opponent, we can change it from our original bracket.
Yeah, you don't have to go with what was in your NHL bracket challenge. You can switch it out.
Okay, because
All right,
injuries.
give me a
and
sec
Again,
here. Caesar, I
my
got it.
Stanley Cup team is out from my
Got it.
Yeah, I got it.
Mine's not.
Here we go.
No, it's not. There we go.
Oh, we got to size it.
Here, I put it back. I'll just
Why? Who wants to go first here? 'Cause we'll go one at a time.
I'll go first.
Okay.
So
So
tell us where you were last round to whoever's going.
So for last round, I picked Winnipeg and Colorado. I had Vegas and LA. I had Toronto and Florida. I had Washington and Carolina. So I got the East correct. I got half the West wrong.
Okay.
And so what I'm going to do here, I think it's Dallas and 5. I think Winnipeg played like dog shit this series against St. Louis. And if they play like that against Dallas, which I'm sure they will, I don't really see a path forward. Hellebuck's got to be a hell of a lot better, but I don't love their blue line. And I think that with Scheifele potentially out, I don't love their center depth. No, Kirby loves Adam Lowry, but he's a third line center.
You think they don't have any second line talent? Look at Cole Perfetti today.
Okay, well, is he a center? I state
So
my
Dallas
case.
and 5 there, Nick?
Yeah, I'll go Vegas in. This is tough. I didn't really fully think this one through. I'll go Vegas in 7. I think it can be 6. I'm actually leaning back and forth, but I'll go 7. I do think McDavid and Draisaitl are going to push that series as far as they can, but I do think in the end that Vegas will take that. But it can be 6. Florida and 5, as stated on the podcast. I think that our top 3 lines, I think we got better throughout the course of the Tampa series. And if that continues into the Toronto series, which I expect it will, I think our top 3 lines can really be rolling. I like our blue line shaping up into form, and I think Bob is locked in. Whereas I think Toronto has some question marks.
hey, let them listen to the podcast for that fucking description. Like,
Yeah, you know what? Just listen tomorrow. And
That's fine. That's fine.
I'll go Carolina in 7. I
Really?
that's the toughest one for me.
so we're back in 2023 with
Yes.
these conference finals matchups.
And I think it'll be Florida versus Carolina and
Great.
Dallas versus Vegas. And that Western Conference final matchup would be a hell of a matchup. And I think that Carolina's pedigree and the fact that, Washington is very similar to Carolina in terms of like the superstars. I know what people want to say Ovechkin. He is almost 40 years old, and I don't want to discount that. But I do think Carolina systematically and with structure can get to Washington, whereas maybe other teams with that similar structure, more talent, they'll struggle with. But I do think they can beat Washington. But it's a 50-50 for me.
So there's Nick's final 4.
All right, can you guys ramble for 1 second? I will be right back.
Okay.
Well, I know how to ramble. Kirby.
I didn't want to go next because I'll tell you why in a second. Caesar, are you ready to go?
Well,
yep. Sure.
no Die Hard, I do not.
Nick?
What?
All right.
Let Caesar reset the board. What were you going to say?
I can't reset it because
Just-
Cody's the one sharing.
Oh, then we just gotta stall for.
Hold on. Let me see if I can pull it up on.
There
my
we go.
here.
And yeah, no Die Hard. I don't think we will see another 4 overtimes if the Panthers play Carolina. If we do, my heart rate will not be good enough for me to be here on After Dark. But yeah, that's my final 4. I honestly can switch Edmonton and for Edmonton and Washington very easily, but I feel confident in those picks. My least confident one is Carolina. I really do think Washington can win it, but I think Carolina will.
Yeah, we gotta you gotta refocus here with just watching that game 7 and seeing what things carry over into next series. And I heard Paul Maurice comment on this as we wait for Cody here. When we won Game 7 in Boston, he thought that really helped our momentum going into that Toronto series because you're playing every other night. So it's going to be interesting to see kind of how Winnipeg now rides this wave of momentum here going into the series against Dallas. Everyone else is going to have enough days off. Cody, are you ready for yours or for Caesar here because you're controlling the board here.
I'll go next. I'll go after.
Go to your on mute.
Okay, Caesar, you're up.
Yeah. So
Caesar's up.
I'll go in the West first, I guess. I'm actually gonna pick. Damn, this is tough. With that emotional win, damn. This is 50-50 for me, but I'm actually gonna pick Dallas because I think Peter DeBoer's got that team on a different level. They're gonna get Robertson back hopefully here in the next series. That's gonna help them. And this Las Vegas, so Dallas and Winnipeg, I think it'll go 7 games as well.
Okay.
Vegas, Edmonton. I'm gonna go with Edmonton here. Here's why. I think them going to the Stanley Cup last year,
How many games?
that'll go 7 as well. So I just feel like Edmonton's got that the experience, the McDavid, Draisaitl, and I know they don't have the goaltending, but I wasn't really impressed with Vegas here against Minnesota. So they really haven't been as defensively as we thought they were going to be. If anybody can beat them again, it's Edmonton. So yeah, I'm definitely going to go with Edmonton there.
That's a big rivalry. Dallas and Edmonton would play for, I think, the 5th or 6th time in history.
Right.
Wow.
So everybody knows who I'm picking here. Florida, obviously, in 6. If anybody hasn't watched my video calling out Biz, go check it out. Yeah, so I think Florida, it's going to be a tougher series. I wouldn't be surprised that they go 7 games. I know a lot of Panther fans in our community are doubting Toronto, but you and I, Kirby, are on the same page. We know they're a lot better this year. Anything can happen. It's his playoff hockey. Any team could win at any time. But I do trust Florida. I think they'll be playing. They just have too much depth on their on all 4 lines, and I think defensively they'll be better than Toronto. But Toronto is not going to is definitely going to give them a fight. And this one, I am going to stick with Washington. I've been saying all year, Washington is a team that we can't just underrate. I think they're going to win in 6. They're going to beat Carolina in 6. So that's my 4.
You've been high on Washington coming down the stretch all second half of the season that they were going to continue their trajectory upwards here.
So here's Caesar's bracket right here. Dallas in 7, Oilers in 7, Panthers in 6, Caps in 6.
Caesar, do we got that picture of you from After Dark there that someone screenshotted from your video? Throw it up. Throw it up.
All right.
Get it ready.
How,
Okay, next.
Yep, you're up next here.
Me? Yeah, I kind of had this pick set in stone coming into tonight.
Right.
I wonder what the Mark Scheifele injury here, how that's going to play out. And didn't Josh Morrissey leave the game too?
Yes,
tonight?
Josh Morrissey only had 2 minutes of ice time tonight.
Yeah, so I don't know what's going on there. That Neil Pionk running the power play. That guy's an all-purpose player, I guess. So we'll go with Dallas there in 6. We'll get to that here in a second. And then I'm going to go Vegas as well. So then I'll go over that pick. So Dallas in 6, Vegas in 6. So with Vegas, again, I don't want to discount Edmonton. I was one of the few that did not do that last round. And Caesar mentioned he doesn't really like how they've been playing defensively here in the matchup with Minnesota. But Vegas would be very smart to play lockdown hockey, suppress any offense from Edmonton, lock down the neutral zone, and make Edmonton use all this depth that they've been talking and piping up with here, and make Edmonton make mistakes. I don't think Aiden Hill or Samsonov is the best goalie duo out there, but they're good enough with that defense that Vegas has. Just limit Edmonton opportunities. I don't know why LA was playing run and gun style with Edmonton. Like, that's on LA and their coaching staff and Hiller. And you guys know I'm not a big fan of why
Edmonton's not going to be able to get away with what they did against LA. They can't do to LA what they can't do to Vegas what they did to LA. They're not going to
Make
get
them
away with
grind out 3-2, 4-3 hockey games. Everyone's saying, like, Ryan Whitney, all the content creators out there, they're like, Edmonton plays run and gun style, and that's how they're going to play all the way through. Yeah, you play that way until a team you run into says, no, we're not playing that way with you, and we're going to lock it down on you. And I know you have all-world players in McDavid and Draisaitl, but you can't let the Connor Browns of the world, we saw that last year in the Stanley Cup Finals, go off on you and score all these big goals. Again, I think Pickard's going to be good maybe early, and then he's going to get rocked, and then they're going to have to go back to Skinner. What's Skinner going to give you when he's back in the net? I think they're going to be swapping goalies there. If Vegas can just lock it down, play good in front of Adin Hill, I think they're able to escape from this series 6-7 games. It won't be easy, but I'll go Vegas in 6. Like I mentioned on the podcast, Panthers in 5. I think it can go 6 if Stolar steals a game. Do I have confidence in him? No. Is it possible that he could? Yes. But again, I think this matchup really suits the Panthers and how that third line is rolling right now. I think the Panthers find a way to get through Toronto here, even if they split the first 2 games. Let's go Panthers in 5. And then I've gone back and forth on this one a little bit this weekend, but I've had Carolina going as far as the conference final, maybe even possibly further. And I've talked with Caesar about this a lot. I think Washington's finally going to meet their match at some point in these playoffs, and it might be in this round, but I'm going to go Carolina in 7. So Carolina in 7, Panthers in 5. That series can go either way, but I think Carolina's playing really good hockey right now.
copycat.
I know, right? Everyone's not going to give them credit because they played New Jersey. That's why I didn't want to go right after Nick.
No, it's okay. But everybody's discrediting the Capitals. I think they're a lot better than everybody thinks they are. So either way,
I'm not in 7. I'm not.
It's definitely going to be a really good series. I know Cody thinks it's going to be boring, but I think it's going to be a lot better than the 2 teams that they played with against.
And I do worry about Carolina's goaltending a little bit here. Cody, I think Freddie Anderson should be back, though.
Okay.
Yes,
we never know with his health.
he can't be our backup next year because he got re-signed.
Yeah, and it was actually for a pretty good rate, which I would have been fine fucking paying him.
3.5, was it?
Hey, no, I gotta make my fucking picks. What the fuck?
Was it 3.5?
Oh, my bad. Hold on. That was my
Oh, what's going on here?
What the hell are you doing, Caesar?
Sorry about that.
Come on. I guess fuck me then, huh?
My bad.
Cody, what were you in the first round? I was 6-2, I believe.
I was 6-2.
I think we all went 6-2.
Are we
I
all
think so.
tied? Caesar, do you got 6 wins?
I don't think so. I think I only got 5.
You got 5.
Because I lost with New Jersey and I lost with St. Louis.
Who else?
That's it.
Oh, so 6-2. All right.
All right. So I guess okay.
All
So
right,
I guess we are all tied. Holy
Get
shit.
this overlay off my face.
All right, so I'll speed through this real quick for everybody. I got Dallas in 6, Edmonton in 6.
Okay.
Wow.
I really don't like the way Vegas is played. I really
Cody
don't.
and I see they're on the same page there. Okay.
I think you can get better.
And Adin Hill has been playing like absolute cow shit.
But
And-
Picker's not playing.
Calvin Pickard is just
What's
so
Pickard?
good, right?
Yeah, but here's the thing. Edmonton always will have that gear that no other team can hit with McDavid and Draisaitl.
Yeah.
And I don't know if Vegas has the defensive forwards to slow that down. All
I
right.
think they do.
Are they getting Ekholm back?
No,
They are
he's
not.
out for he's out for the whole second round.
Oh, that's not good.
So now Pickard in net and Ekholm is out.
Hey, I'll still roll with it.
So me and Nick are going with Vegas. Cody and Caesar are going with Edmonton.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, and then we all have Dallas.
And I have Florida in 6 and Washington in 7.
Like I always
You-
say, great minds think alike.
There you go. It's Caesar and Cody versus Nick and Kirby here.
There we
So
go.
here's my Florida. Listen to the podcast if you want my reasoning.
Okay.
Washington. I don't think Carolina has the guns to do it. I really don't. Because maybe Stankoven emerges here, but I don't think so.
They'll be playing a better system than they did in Montreal, Cody.
Yeah, but
Yeah, they struggled with Montreal.
Montreal, they played well at times, but they got both.
But Carolina played the worst team in the first round.
Yeah, but they
But I don't
didn't
think
get-
Washington can bully Carolina.
I don't think Carolina could bully Washington.
Yeah, but I'll just say this. I mean, I was not impressed with Washington in round 1.
Yeah, but the thing was, Carolina was
They
playing
played a better team.
Yeah, but
How
Carolina
much
was
better?
Not much.
way better. The fuck?
Way better, dude. The Canadians went on a little run towards the
They're
end.
the
there.
youngest team in NHL history.
But
right?
here's the thing: New
Sir.
Jersey was missing half of their fucking
Oh, they
defense
still would have sucked.
and missing their
Yes.
best player.
They still
Yeah.
would have sucked. They're frauds. Get Banksy in here. They're frauds.
Okay,
I agree, Kirby.
that just goes to prove our point. They played a shittier team.
And we're playing Jakob Dobosh. Well, sorry, Matthew, but he's a bum.
There's a couple goals he might have wanted.
New
But
Jersey was missing Luke Hughes, Brendan Dillon, Jack Hughes.
why are you always a New Jersey apologist, Cody?
Because it's the fucking truth. You
Yeah.
gave every team, every player that
Kirby,
plays injured,
Kirby,
you give
Kirby.
that fucking put like
Because I've been
pussy ass
right more than
excuse.
wrong on them. I'm
Kirby,
both right.
Kirby. In time, we will be proven right again. So
Okay,
just relax.
but here's the thing. But the
Sorry,
thing
Cody
is,
grew up 6 years earlier. He would have hated New Jersey. Would have been
Yeah,
upset.
but here's the thing. I don't think Carolina has anyone on their damn team to help with Tom Wilson. I don't. They don't have one person on that team to fight.
I
back
think
against
Tom
him.
Wilson would be a load for us to handle, and for Toronto would be a
Yeah,
nightmare.
yeah, but we're more suited to. Out of all the teams remaining,
Yeah.
us and Dallas are the two teams suited to actually go against Tom Wilson.
Oh, I
Yeah.
think Vegas would be.
I agree.
Mark
You guys
Stone,
just
you watch
think
how he's
Ve-
playing right now?
You guys just think
He's been
Vegas
bad. He's
is
been
like
getting
walk.
better.
I'm surprised at the disrespect to Vegas here.
It's
They
kind
just
of
played-
right from
They
Edmonton.
just haven't impressed me in the
They
first
just played
round.
like shit, man.
They
I don't know
haven't
how you were
looked good.
impressed with
They
Edmonton.
got through without their best game. Who else did that, Nick? The Florida Panthers.
How am I not impressed by Edmonton? Edmonton completely
Look
demoralized.
at the shot. Look at the shots on goal. Like
You're
they
right.
literally were
Demoralized the
rolling.
team.
They-
Cody can't crap on Vegas. His dark horse team was
Because
Minnesota.
Jim Hiller doesn't know how to coach.
Yeah, but but freaking LA was what 5 minutes away from a 3-0 lead,
Yeah. So
and the
Doesn't
worst.
count. You told me the Rangers. They were one goal away from being up 3-0.
yep, there you go, Kirby.
And guess what?
Right.
And guess
And
what?
then
The
they fired
Devils.
Gerard Gallant, right?
Yeah, but I blame the players.
Yeah, Gerard Gallant should have a job in this league when he makes conference finals and things like
And
that.
cup
Yeah, but-
finals too.
Yeah, but
Fine.
well, here's the difference. Gallant didn't have a challenge that changed the whole series. Hiller did. Like, there's
you
a
should blame
difference here.
him and not the and not give credit to the Oilers. That's what I'm hearing, Kirby.
Yeah, but but here's the thing: you have to take advantage of it, and I'm gonna give credit because here's the thing: Kirby gave credit to a fucking Leafs team that played the Panthers out.
Well,
Alexander
I get
Barkov,
on him
Matthew
about that
Tkachuk,
too. I think Kirby's a
and
moron.
Aaron Ekblad, and we're like, oh, they won a 2-1 game. Credit to them. No, fuck
Yeah,
that.
because that was getting ready for playoff hockey.
Getting
Yeah.
ready for playoff hockey. Jacob Megna's on in the playoffs, Kirby.
And here's the thing: this was playoff hockey. and
Cody,
they're
you
not gonna-
forget when we beat the Leafs, they had 6 players out of their lineup when we beat them 5-1.
In October,
And do you think I'm giving us credit for that?
No, I'm just stating that.
Okay, but what about when we beat them 3-2 back
And
down here in
Austin
Florida?
Matthews was one of those 6 that was out of the lineup.
All right, but what about those? What about the 3-2 victory down here?
Yeah, we played well when we had like Bob in net. Bob was in net.
Yeah,
for-
so but I'm gonna give credit to Edmonton for demoralizing a fucking team. Yes, I am. Because the LA Kings are flat out fucking broken. And
the
Carolina,
LA Kings are broken after they were up 2-0 in the series. People were picking them to go to the Cup final.
Nah.
Yeah,
I
people
had
in
them.
LA,
As,
nobody
I
else.
had them as second round exits.
People in LA, Kirby, nobody else.
Just okay, we do have some of those in our community.
But like it,
they're included.
but
That's
how-
Jim.
because here's the thing: I thought John Cooper's goaltender interference challenge in Game 1 was going to be the dumbest challenge of the first round.
I think John Cooper, I'm going to say this. I don't know what's been the problem. I know people are going to give him credit, whatever. He has not been impressive. I have not been impressed with him in years. I wasn't impressed with him this year. I wasn't impressed with him at Four Nations. I wasn't impressed with him last year during the playoffs.
Is that the picture, Kirby?
That's the picture. Who weren't you impressed with, Nick? I'm losing focus. That's crazy. From the Caesar video there.
I'm not gonna lie. When I first saw that, I thought it was a damn pistol. Like,
Cody wasn't really tired of the Caesar.
It might as well been. Holy.
He does have a mobster looking face on there, Caesar. Caesar, you're a man of many faces. Like
Yeah. Wait, Caesar, what's your favorite thing to go with poke check?
Poke check me, baby.
Woo!
Oh man, for
Yeah,
anybody
man.
You got to watch the Stolar's press conference afterwards. That was an interesting night.
Yeah, that was. Stars, is he a little too loosey-goosey going into this series here? Is he going to think he's going to find his game here?
I
he
think
do
so.
Snow Angels against the Florida Panthers.
Yeah, these Snow Angels ain't going to work.
This isn't a nice winter day out in freaking Ontario. You can't go, there's none
You
of
know what
that.
we're going to do? We're going to poke the puck in, and they're going to be like, of course it's a goal, because they always give everything to the Panthers. That's goalie interference. I could just
My favorite is a man who I'm not going to say his name. Anytime anything happens, likes to bring it back to the center of the universe. If that would have happened in the Leafs, he would have been suspended for 2-3 games, and everybody knows it. Everybody, you know what I'm talking about, Kirby.
Good old Ryburn.
Yeah.
good member of our community, fellow Leaf resident fan.
Like,
Out of nowhere, too. He's like, if Ekblad did was Kadri and had a Leaf on his jersey.
We talked about that a little bit on the podcast, but there is some times where the wheel has to stop on us, Caesar, when we do things. Okay, we're not saints out there on the ice. But I heard Craig Berube here before we came to air. He said, I'm not calling the Panthers like a dirty hockey team. He's like, that's hockey, right?
Yeah.
Like that's Craig Berube style hockey. Like that is another reason I like Craig Berube. He's not out there like crying like John Cooper does or certain fan bases do, like the Boston Bruins fan base. Give me a break. You guys wouldn't want Matthew Tkachuk or Sam Bennett on your hockey club, and you're out there crying how they are. Do you guys remember you used to run around with Milan Lucic and Sean Thornton? Shout out to Sean Thornton now with us.
Yeah.
Boston South, Florida North.
Chief's a tough guy, you know.
I don't know. Like, yeah, he's not whining. So just.
I mean, I think he's trying to instill that in the Leafs. It's like, I don't give a fuck what they do. If they punch you in the mouth, punch them back harder. Don't bitch.
Now,
right?
Mitch Marner going to do that?
Wow.
You know, but it's going to be interesting because it does come down to the core four. It comes down to the goaltending. But then, you know, if you do want to give the Leafs credit, you guys haven't heard some more content this week, that improved D-core for the Leafs. I'm really going to keep an eye on that. I think it's not going to be as easy as we may think as Panther fans to get in on that forecheck and get turnovers and things like that. We got to capitalize when we do get chances, hit the net, and pick spots of where we can beat Stolarz and get to those rebounds.
But
Yeah.
the thing is with the Leafs going into the series is they are trying to play a Panthers-esque type game. You know, dump and chase, gap controls, you know, everything to the boards.
Blocking shots.
Yeah. Blocking shots isn't necessarily a Panthers game plan. We don't block a lot of shots, really.
You don't know.
Not in the Palmarie system. Not in.
No.
I'm trying to think where we go back. Did we with Bugner? I can't even remember.
I don't
Maybe
think
Gerard Gallant. Gerard Gallant.
Gallant, maybe. Bugner, I can't really tell you because we never made the playoffs under Bugner, so I can't really give you an accurate description.
There's a reason for
Soft,
that.
you want to talk about soft decor?
There's a reason for that. It's because
1 point off.
It's because we didn't block shots. That's why we didn't make the playoffs.
And our 40-year-old goalie.
that goaltending, you needed to freaking block every shot.
Oh, yeah.
Lou was cooked.
Just to see in a stat here tonight, I think the Jets had 73 hits. If you want to talk about.
If that was the Panthers, we would have had like 101.
What double overtime was it?
What was the hits against the
Was it double overtime?
Carolina?
Oh, good question.
Overtime.
That's a good question.
Oh, I can look this up.
Was it only in the mid to high 60s, Cody?
Give me a second here. I can look this up.
Yeah. I remember talking about that. We actually have our Spaces Rewind show from that night up on our Apple and Spotify.
Yeah, but we weren't analyzing that damn game. It was too fucking late.
It was tired. We did check the hits at one point, though, I think.
Let's see. I don't remember checking the hits.
I feel it was in the high 60s, low 70s, but I could be wrong.
You are completely wrong.
Really?
46-35.
Wow.
Wow. They didn't really hit that game?
And listen to these shots per period during that.
He had the puck a lot that game.
10-12 in favor of Carolina. I'm going by period here. First period, 10-12 Carolina. Second period, 8-6, 8-5 Florida. Third period, 14-2 for Carolina. And then the overtime, Florida increasingly got better as the overtimes went on. 7-5 in the first overtime, Carolina. 10-10 second overtime. 11-8 Florida third overtime, 14-9 Florida fourth overtime.
Wow.
And Nick's
Wow.
looking like how we all did after that fourth overtime game.
I mean, it's been
Was Nick in there for that 4 overtime?
I was. If you go back and listen, like you said, you did.
Nick could not.
It was a while.
Nick couldn't sleep for that. I mean,
You think you're going to be able to go to bed for that?
yeah, but I'm expecting a lot of hits from Florida this year, just because because Toronto's probably going to possess the puck a lot more than us, because I think they are more of a puck possessing team, because we are not that. Like, we're not like I think that, like I said, I've said to this face, I think the worst stat to look at us by is ozone time, because we don't need a lot of ozone time to score.
No.
We really don't. And with Toronto, I question if the core four could still make plays in tight spaces. Why the fuck are we showing the checkers?
Because they won today. They're our affiliate.
Did you pay you to do this?
Gosh, why did you get Jamie in your DMs?
Yeah, you're really nice.
infiltrating.
Such a team
Really
effort. I could go
nice.
around the room and give a lot of kudos to a lot of guys, but to win, you got to have good goaltending.
Oh, what goal?
Is that Kakinen?
Effort these 2 games today. Lots of great big blocks at the end there. Way to bear down and that's the whole.
Oh, I was thinking maybe Cooper Black there.
Hey, we gotta support our affiliate here. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. They don't support me too much, but anyways.
Yeah, there we go.
The Panthers don't support us anymore.
They want me to sponsor them when I reach.
Kirby, Checkers fever is here.
They wanted me to sponsor them.
Kirby,
I'm like, who do you think I am?
Kirby,
You think I got Vinny Viola money there, Checkers?
Kirby, Checkers fever is here. Are you geared up?
We do have to get a sponsor in here.
Yeah, we do. Would that be
Yeah.
good? Right about
They're
now?
up 2-0 in their series versus the Providence Bruins.
Yeah.
We just beat the Bruins no matter where we're at.
There we go.
Let's see.
Thank you, Die Hard.
Wilmer Skoog scored. Merrick Olsher got a point, and Mikolas Havorka got a point.
Yeah, Charlotte's finding goals in the playoffs. They won that first round series best of 5, I want to say.
No, this is the first round series. They had a bye.
Oh, they had the bye. Okay. So they're up 2-0.
Yeah, I think they scored like 5 goals yesterday or the day before.
Oh, Mike Benning scored his first postseason goal in game 1.
In 1, yeah.
Oh, like, we don't have any prospects worth a fuck for me to care about that team.
Divine.
He's not like the old prospects, because you have like the fucking first round picks, like the A1 ones.
Cody's not big on. I would have been interested to know what prospect he would have been big on when they were coming through the ranks.
Henrik Borgstrom.
Yeah,
That was Cody's guy.
that was my guy.
It was everyone's guy.
The more I read about him, the more tantalizing it got when they were like, he has Connor McDavid's stick skills.
I was high on Tippett after World Juniors.
Yeah, and then one of our own resident community members, Daniel, he was high on.
Antonio says Stolar's Revenge series.
Who Antonio? What's he mad about? We gave him a ring.
We revived his career. Hell, we
Did
saved
Zito not give him the 3-year contract or 4-year contract?
And if you listen,
You didn't
like,
give me the starting position. Well, no shit.
If you listen to Paul Maurice, like he gives so much credit to them too. Like he's like, these guys deserve to go elsewhere and play. They weren't going to find playing time here. So
That's true. But I don't think he wants to give any bulletin board material going into this series
Right.
either.
no, like not like Goldie. You mean? I'm not to
Goldie had a good point.
not
Goldie-
to like put him
Goldie's
out
more
there,
confident than us.
but that I mean, I love Goldie, but like, come on, act like you've been there before.
he thinks it's going to be pretty easy.
What did Goldie say?
He had a question for Paul Maurice. I can't remember exactly what it was, but Paul Maurice kind of just diminished it and said, okay there, sir, but I'm not with you on that one. And then he continued on. And then Goldie did his preview show. Like, I think like it's not going to be like 2023 here, you know? Like, they still have the same core nucleus. And I get if we shut them down, we can fold them. But their team's a lot different. And
Edna Garrett says they can win because Bobrovsky's not going to be as good as 23. Newsflash, he doesn't need to be because we're a better team than
That's
we
what you and Cody said. But can he reach those levels or close to those levels? I think he can.
He can, but I don't think he's going to need to.
He doesn't need to. They're not going to get the amount of chances that they did in 2020.
Ever since we've had a established enough team to kind of go through these things, we haven't needed Bob to hit Carolina or Toronto levels.
So, like last year then.
Vince, don't give me that anything can happen bullshit. Because
you know what that is I don't want to have a take because I don't want to be wrong.
Yes, that's Captain.
Has Vince given us some takes from the first round?
No.
You know what's Vince's last take was Evan Nas over Matthew Nyes.
We talked about that on the podcast.
And I'll tell you this: if he was wearing a suit for that one, he ain't wearing a suit anymore. I'll tell you that.
Here's the thing: it's just
Matthew Nyes is a Florida Panthers.
Because a lot of the media that's covering the series is Canadian, so they're always I think the story is, Toronto's not the same team they were in 23. Well, neither were the fucking Panthers. We don't have Nick Cousins in the top 6 anymore. We don't have Colin White in the lineup. We don't have Mark Stahl or Josh Mahura anymore.
Don't say Mahura.
Well, I'm gonna say Mahura because guess what? He was on the fucking team, Nick.
You know what?
I still think our defense isn't deep, but we don't have to go to Fitzgerald. So I think we're a little bit.
At least, but Balinskis should have been proven now that he can.
I think Balinskis is better than Mahura.
He's a 6/7.
Okay.
Yeah, but if Balinskis, because here's the thing, one thing we got to give credit to the front office for is they believed in Balinskis being the 7D heading into the playoffs, and so far he's proven him pretty much right because he's played relatively fine. Watch him eat shit now, game 1, but
I'm gonna blame Ekblad because why not?
So this is Craig Berube when asked if the Florida Panthers are mean.
Playing a mean hockey team.
Are they mean?
Did you watch that? Compared to most teams, they play a meaner game.
They play
or a harder game.
They play a hard game. I agree. They're, they forecheck hard and they're physical and they're in your face the whole game. I don't necessarily think it's mean. I mean, that's just their game. I think our guys, we're a physical team too. And, we got to go out and be physical ourselves. We got to initiate as much as possible. And you're going to get banged around and they're going to come and they're going to hit and they're going to do that's just part of it. And I thought, Ottawa did the same thing to us. They were physical. They were honest. They're hitting. And I thought we handled it well.
Whatever happens to the Leafs this series, I respect Craig Berube.
We're not Ottawa.
I get that.
We're not.
No,
I'm not putting this series on Craig Berube.
Neither am I.
Because if it's not going well, it's like I gave this message all year long, and some of you didn't follow suit on
if he
this
is what I said. It's like you've committed all year long, but you're gonna have to commit even more.
But I respect that of him. Shouldn't he dig in? Shouldn't he?
But if he has a dumbass challenge.
Well, yeah, but here's the thing. It's like your commitment is going to be tested in this series. If you're not going to follow through, then you didn't buy in.
Coach, I think he's committed.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean he could come up short, which I think is a very high probability. But that's not on him this year. That's on some of those guys that have been in that room.
Yeah, but the thing...
Not the new guys that come in, probably, guys. I think
Berube probably won't start being linked about a year or 2 years from now. If, things have not changed, that's when he'll get blamed.
You don't think things are progressing up with him? He's done more in one season than guys do there in half a decade or more.
Well, he's only meshed what Sheldon Keefe has done, so we'll see here.
And that's pretty much telling you an FU to the Toronto media. You guys are just as soft as some of those players that are still in that room right now.
Right.
I don't know about all that, but
you don't know about that, Steve Simmons, some of those guys, Jonas Siegel,
but the thing is you're asking a former enforcer or the Panthers a mean team. I'm pretty sure Berube's seen mean, and with the way hockey's progressed nowadays, we're not going to be his version of mean. But
he walks the walk. He doesn't talk the talk, and he's there, and he's got a ring to back it up, and coming in and what he did with St. Louis, right? That's a coach that should never been fired. Luke Richardson in Chicago, the guy should never.
I think it was the right move. They needed to move on from Berube. It was time.
Yeah. Yeah, because they were missing the playoffs when he was fired. Like, you know,
They kind of got a softball handed to them from Boston this year because they could have been really stuck in neutral right now.
and Luke Richardson, I mean, Chicago never progressed.
I don't know.
You want him to do so
you
the
want him to
management,
right?
So does the management get blamed for not giving you a better roster?
It's the same with Rube. Hey, give me guys. And if Treliving and Shanahan are like, no, we're just gonna go this way.
It's like the old rule, like each GM gets one coach. I think now the new rule is that each GM gets two coaches, like because
They better figure that thing out with Bedard, because man, that's
well, they just got to surround him with fucking talent.
Yeah.
Like, that's the only thing. Like,
Luke Richardson had the right mindset to build that team, just like I thought St. Louis did in Montreal, in a different style, in a different way, and what Berube has to do to take them to the next step or two. But again, when you run into a team like Florida, I don't put that all on one particular person. I think there's
it's not when you lose, it's who you lose to,
and how.
Yeah,
I guess how a bit. Like if you lose like 6 or 7.
But the hell, like, are they going to grind us out and make us work for everything we do? I think our fans will be surprised by that, but I wouldn't be shocked if it was like a hard-fought 5-6 game series. 7 might be stretching it a little.
And I'm hearing they're putting Steven Lawrence on the third line to start the game, game 1.
No, it's just that he's on their fourth line, but they just call it their third line.
They kind of like
because their third line's so fucking bad.
Okay.
We were just explaining this on the podcast. Like, once you give it a listen,
okay,
he'll explain it to you better than we can. But yeah, we can't.
Scott Lawton's not a fourth line center. He's better than that.
Yeah, but they're kind of using him as that.
Right, he's a fourth line left winger.
But they'll see if they want to roll the lines, like Zach said. We'll see if they're able to do that in this series, because I think Paul Maurice will, Nick. But I think the problem we fall into sometimes too, guys, is we don't roll 4 lines because if we're getting into penalty trouble.
Yeah, and that happened the entirety of the Tampa series, because I don't really remember a fourth line being like, I don't really remember that many 5-on-5 shifts. I just remember Nico Sturm was just a menace on the PK, got better as the series went along, especially with the face-off numbers becoming what Kevin Stenlund was to us last year, even though I think last year in the Tampa series, or actually in the entirety of the playoffs, we were a lot more disciplined than what we were in the first round. So,
question: so, were you guys more scared of Tampa Bay's power play or Toronto's power play coming into this series?
I question Kucherov. Good question, Caesar.
I question Toronto's 5 forwards, because I do believe if they have 5 forwards, I know Marner's very defensively capable, but I do believe we can get some shorthanded chances off this series when it comes to that power play. Because I mean, Ottawa already showed it. Remember game 5, the 2-0 goal was a shorty.
Let me say it this way: you got to be on alert for both Tampa Bay and Toronto's power play. But I would say slight lean to Tampa, because I didn't think Kucherov was going to be quite that bad. And then I worry about guys like Point and Gensel and things like that. Can Toronto hurt you? Sure they can. But also you have to look at our penalty kill and look at where it's at coming into this series. I got a high level of confidence.
I'll lean Tampa.
Yeah, like lean.
Because their guys are probably more proven this time of year.
Yeah.
And like, really, the Maple Leafs, I don't think the Maple Leafs have really relatively ever killed us on the power play before. Because I don't remember singular games.
I think Austin Matthews has wheeled around us, but again, I'm wondering where Austin Matthews is at this year.
What about John Tavares? Do you think are you guys worried about him? He seems to sometimes be a Panther killer.
He's going to be a Panther killer, but you just got to manage Matthews and Marner, because those are the 2 guys that are going to get the ice time. Tavares is going to have his goals. He's going to have his moments, but you're going to have to treat Tavares like Gensel. Like, you let them get their goals and their moments, but you shut down everything else. You let someone else beat you, not the main guys beat you.
Cody's a little higher. You'll see on the podcast episode, a little higher on Tavares than me and Nick are. Me and Nick leaning more William Nylander, and I'll even put into me / Matthew Nyes. If Matthew Nyes starts going off, we're starting to get into deep water and some problems. If he's going off and breaking us down on one-on-one plays and getting behind our defense and finishing on plays, because Matthew Nyes is a state of Florida killer. Like he's got some good.
He's a Tampa killer. He's not a Panther
no,
killer.
he scored his first ever goal against us in the.
But that
playoffs.
doesn't mean he kills us.
No, we'll see.
So
Okay.
I'm gonna ask Nick the
So
question.
you're
since
telling
he
me
just
since
got
Brock
back.
Faber scored his first NHL goal against us, he kills us?
No, but I
The
think
logic's fucking
good numbers
stupid.
against us. He always plays well against us.
No, he doesn't.
Okay.
He's less than point per game versus us.
Well, if he's less than a point per game, what is he at? 0.75 or 0.85?
Let's see.
Because
I'm
Cody,
gonna look it up right now, actually.
So Nick, what I asked the boys, the guys, who are you more afraid of? Tampa Bay's penalty or power play, or Toronto's power play?
and I know his numbers are better against Tampa, Cody.
I was more afraid of Tampa.
I know, but he's a Tampa killer.
I mean, Tampa's power play. I mean,
He has 4 points in 8 games with a -3. How the fuck is he a Panther killer?
and he has 1 point in 3 or 2 playoff games against us. So 5 points in 10.
No,
That's not a killer.
Not bad.
That's just average.
He's hit another level now.
I was more afraid of Tampa's power. Now I respect Toronto's power play, but I think we have a really good penalty kill, and I think Tampa's power play is generational in terms of what they've been able to accomplish together and what they do, how they move the puck.
Why are they not running power play anymore? It's much improved with 5 forwards. He's not a power. I think you guys are going to go back to D because
we can
Especially
strike the other way.
We can-
strike the other
Especially
way.
with Florida's penalty kill and the way they
Yeah.
create a lot of
I
odd
would
man
surprise-
runs.
And it's not a knock against Toronto. It's just I think Tampa Bay has the best
Like-
power play in the NHL.
because if you're Leaf fans, you know more than anyone. Mitch Marner is susceptible to those pressurized turnovers.
And when we went through the playoffs last year, we had to face Tampa, New York, and Edmonton's power play. We know what we need to do. We know how to face elite power plays, and we just did it against Tampa again.
No, I don't want built-in excuses from Leaf Nation, but remember, Adam Fox was banged up last year when we played him. Leon Draisaitl was. Are they going to come out and say Austin Matthews isn't healthy? If he's not producing, namely on the power play.
They have to declare
I
that
thi-
right now.
Honestly,
Well, I'm just
honestly,
ready for that.
honestly,
That's-
I think it's only if they're like a big Matthews fan. If they're like a regular Leafs fan, I think they're going to be sick of it.
they're not going to use that reasoning. Okay.
I think if they're a true
Cooper Rush.
if they are a true, yeah, those big fans could hit us for sure. Hey, and you guys could too, because we are power play susceptible to that too, because we are very scripted, especially when we come into the zone. But it's with like a regular Leaf fan, like Mark over here, I don't think he's going to use that excuse. But if it's like one of like the Twitter girls and stuff like that, with like with Austin Matthews in their username, yeah, they're going to give him excuses. But if it's like a true fan of the team, how many times are you going to hear oh, Matthews was hurt again? Like, because he's been hurt the last couple of playoff runs. He had
last the mystery illness or injury.
and then the year before it was like the wrist injury versus us.
Yes.
Like,
which was substantial, but
yeah,
still.
but it's going to be 3 years in a row here. So
the war of attrition.
I know,
Yeah.
but on the outside looking in, we're like, oh damn, like it sucks for him. But if that's like Barkov, he's getting heat.
Yeah, from our fan base, that people think there's only what is it, 27 of us, Caesar Dirtbag?
6 of us or 27
27
dirtbags.
dirtbags.
I never knew that line, Caesar, till the other day from you.
Moving up. We're moving up.
Wait. Actually, 26 and a half from some of those Toronto.
Oh no, no.
That's
We don't have the drum on here, and the drum sucks on the sound.
here's what I'll do.
We're waiting.
There we go, Goldie.
There we go.
Surprised you don't have the Gustav Forsling shit in the chat. But speaking
Not
of
Forsling.
injuries,
It's not Forsling. It's
speaking of
Goose.
injuries, like Tampa's injury lineup here,
But
Yeah.
I think we caused a good amount of these.
we caused
Well,
like
it's
5
really
of those.
As opposed to them.
We caused the Sorelli one. We caused the Hedman one. I think we caused the Chernak one. We caused the Hagel one. So that's 4 right
But you
there.
think the Chernak one and the Hedman one were a result of the Panthers series?
Oh no, the Chernak
Yes,
one
he
was
broke-
100%. Because remember, Chernak was slow to get up in like game
Oh,
one.
the
Good
Verhege
one.
hit you're saying.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Hyperextension.
Hedman broke his foot in game 4.
Yeah.
Is that the game they said? Okay. From a block shot?
I had no
Yeah.
clue.
Because remember, he did leave the game in that game. So, but And they said Kucherov had like something with his wrist or whatever.
But they're saying that dated back or something. Is that what they're going with?
Yeah, but I'm sorry. Like whenever we made it to that cup final, and I just because when Kucherov can't play with a little broken wrist, like hurt wrist or whatever, they didn't even say it was broken. They just said it hurt.
And then he's training right away now.
Yeah, and then you have
that makes no sense.
They had Ekblad and Montour with fucking torn shoulders. Yeah. Ekblad playing with a broken foot. Fucking Kachuk playing like a game with a fucking broken sternum.
Ekblad had another injury or two on top of that.
Torn oblique.
There we go.
But
yeah, we went all the way to the cup final. But that's why I said you need luck along the way to get to the conference final, cup final, and then if you run out of bodies.
Luck is the most underrated part of winning.
It is.
Because no one brings it up unless you get
health, injury, luck.
Because there are some times where you do all you can, but sometimes it ain't it.
Yeah, it's unavoidable.
Because you can look at any champion in the history of anything that had some sort of luck along the way.
That is why we're going way back. But that's why the New York Islanders dynasty ended to the Edmonton Oilers. They had nothing left after those 4 or 5 runs.
And Bossy was cooked.
They were cooked, and they were older, and they were worn out, burnt out, and they never got back to that level again.
And like we were decimated.
These windows of championship contention here.
And you know it's funny? Yeah, we were decimated when we lost to Vegas because that lineup we put out, fuck me.
And we weren't deep to start that year. Everyone forgets this too that are not Panther fans. That was a gap year, Nick.
And you know it's funny? Like I always think of that year, and then I remember the year before where we were waiting to see if we had any injuries, and it was fucking Lundell with like tonsils.
That made me very up. That pissed me off.
And I talk about that all the time.
Like I don't know, like you play that bad, and outside of Marchman, of course.
See the difference from 2022 to 2023, just the mindset and the mentality, and how much hurdles 2023 team had to go through versus what 2022 had to go through, which was easy breezy for most of the year. And then you get into the playoffs, you get hit in the mouth.
They did have to deal with
it. Used to be that soft team,
right?
Yep.
But
what did you
on
say?
The top core. Yeah.
But I'll say this now. But I don't know how much of a difference Marchman makes in that second Tampa series when your top guys aren't going like that, and Vasilevsky's on that other planet.
Well, he'll try to pull you out of the fire like Maxime Mammon did, but that was Maxime Mammon. I would say Mason Marchman's a better hockey player than Maxime Mammon.
Yeah, but I don't know how much. But we got swept, ass kicked, embarrassed. Like I don't know if Marchman makes that much of a difference.
But that carried over from the Washington series. Too much fallacy there that the fan base thought we played such a good series there. Cody, we broke it down every post-game show.
We were lucky to get out of that series. Like outplayed at every turn. We couldn't break a 1-3-1.
You had puck luck with the post.
We had puck luck because remember the Huberdeau shot, like it ended up like Reinhardt's tape back of the net, and then
looking back at it, what the hell was Huberdeau doing on that play? But
I don't even know. He's not on the team anymore. It's over with it.
People still bring him up from time to time.
Like that's why
a bit of a resurgence season.
That's why Bruno will always be my most hated coach.
Because of the expectations and level of, like some people are like, Pete DeBoer never did that for us in Florida. What do you want him to do? He came out of junior from the Kitchener Rangers, win the Memorial Cup. We weren't paying coaches.
This is the best roster on paper. Sturm and Boquist on the fourth line is a scam. You guys have the best third line in the league too. Dallas also has a good one.
Yeah, Nick talks about the Dallas depth quite a bit, and they're banged up right now with start players out of their lineup. Look how they're.
Yeah. Well, I think Boquist, we want Boquist out of the lineup. We would like Sturm, Evan Rodriguez, and AJ Gray.
Yeah, and Marakey's out of the lineup for us right now too. Mark
Samoskevich would go back up to the second line. But Rodriguez would go down the line 4.
Isn't Samoskevich playing in this first game?
No, I don't think so.
Uncertain lineup to start.
But there's a team I want to get into because we had not 1 but 2 Game 7s here. Now I want to talk about Colorado.
Yes, what a joke.
I see a lot of their fans blaming the refs on Twitter, but let's be real here. They blew it.
They did.
If you are in a series with that roster, that's a damn good roster McFarland put together. McFarland and Sakic put together. You have that roster, you should win a first round opponent.
But
You have
someone
that
had to lose
roster-
in that
Hold on.
matchup.
You have a first round opponent, Dallas, missing their top defenseman and arguably their top forward.
Fair.
You are icing Leon Bichel and Alex Petrovich in a damn playoff game. Ilya Labushkin and Cody Ceci are playing 20-plus minutes a night. You should run them out of the building in 5-6 games.
No, you forgot Cody's guy in net for Dallas there.
Well, Andre got better as the series went on.
Yeah.
That's
like,
a joke.
But
That's a joke that Colorado lost that series. And it's a
You make
wasted
good points there,
opportunity.
Nick. I was going to
And-
come at you there.
A
And
wasted
this,
opportunity.
But it
and
did
this-
go game 7.
You
Yeah.
got Brock Nelson, Charlie Coyle, Jack Drury. You went out and got all these other pieces. You got Natchez back, and I know he was bad this series, but you had a roster that could have won the Stanley Cup.
Oh, I thought people said Natchez was as good as Rantanen.
and then the
I never
lights.
said that.
And guess what, Kirby? The light switch turned off.
There you go, Cody.
But I'll
Oh.
say this: that roster was good enough to win a cup, regardless of who they were playing.
And
Never mind the fact that they were facing a team that had to play that top 4 because Heiskanen and Robertson were out. If I'm a Colorado fan, that's a wasted opportunity. And I think whoever wins this series is going to beat Winnipeg.
I get what you're saying, Nick. It did go 7 games, but you do make good.
but let me
It's not, and you have a 2-0 lead in game 7. Forget all that other point. You have a 2-0 lead with 12 minutes to go.
But I don't think they need to blow anything up.
no, they don't need to blow nothing up. But let me just say this because this is a guy I've been hard on. But this is what I wanted to see from Jake Oettinger before I started crowning him into like Vezina caliber. Because the only
You're done.
It was a big difference in this series.
yeah,
Counting him out.
what happened?
You're not going to count him out no more?
Well, no, I didn't
was
count him
good
out.
this
I didn't count him out. I
I always
just
have to talk to you about like talking him into a series and a match.
I didn't count him out. I just thought you guys crowned him too early. Because there were 2 years where I didn't think he was that great in the playoffs. This was his
I don't
first.
think it's all on him when the team goes.
It's not, but you got to get a save at some point here. And if you
When
want
you're
to,
playing, when you're playing Vegas and Edmonton, these are some
but if you want to win a Stanley Cup, you got to get some saves. That's just the end of be all.
I think that's the day and age of us being hypercritical on certain teams
Yeah.
like that.
But like I said, I thought you guys crowned him too early. That was my whole thing. Because calling him Vezina like right after the Calgary series, I'm like, wait, pump the brakes a second here.
But remember, Dallas, they're going through their old core and they're working this new core through. Now, one of the guys used to be Stanko and they moved him on in the trade. But, they're trying to incorporate those guys through. So their window is open.
Yeah, but the Rantanen, because the one thing I was kind of worried about with them was, are they going to run into the same issue with Carolina where they don't have a game breaker? Now they have one in Mikko Rantanen.
Well, because Robertson should have been that. And you get one from the back and they're Heiskanen, who's been out of the lineup. He's a bit of a game breaker at times.
Heiskanen, I get.
Can win you games.
But Colorado, this is a ginormous fucking failure.
It is. But
And-
besides calling it a failure, I think we need to kind of talk about what great it was seeing Gabriel Landeskog back.
Oh,
in the
he
lineup.
was phenomenal. He came back.
That was a
and-
plus for them.
And and that makes it more of a failure. You got Landeskog back, and he played very, very well in that series. He wasn't all the way back, but he was damn good.
Nick, are you all right there?
Yeah, I had to sneeze, and I don't
Okay. I thought you were trying to stay awake or something.
But no. But the thing was with Colorado, why is this such more of a failure? It's just
on your own accord.
And as much as Chris McFarland deserves a lot of credit,
mountain time. That's why.
And as much as Chris Farland deserves a lot of credit for this turnaround, for this remake over of the Colorado Avalanche this season, I think some blame does go on him because I do believe he panicked with the Mikko Rantanen situation.
But that's because of the result of how this series turned out in 7 games, Cody. No one's going to mention that if they got through it.
But here's the thing. The same guy you traded beat you in this series. He was the best player in this series.
He wasn't the best player for the first 4 games, but
he wasn't. But when he needed to be,
Carolina to trade him to Dallas either.
Yeah. But when he needed to be, He was there.
But that's Eric Tulsky in there. Whatever he's doing, playing 3D, 4D chess,
Fucking nerd.
Galaxy Brain or whatever.
Fucking nerd. Like, that's like the dumbest shit in the world to me. Like, why the hell are you going to acquire a star player and give up major assets to do so?
If you can't,
I think Cody might hate Eric Tulsky as much as I did Kyle Dubas in Toronto.
No, it's just like you should be like the first fucking question if you should ask is if you want to trade for a guy is, does he fit with our system?
He did. That was malpractice for Rod Brindamore. When Rod Brindamore operates there, I don't know what they're not on the same page.
Like, what the fuck are you doing?
Didn't they just extend Rod Brindamore too? They actually,
Well, they actually mustered up enough money out of their piggy banks to freaking offer him some cash.
Yeah, they must have took their piggy banks, just like hit the bottom of it.
Yeah,
but then the GM does that to the coach, and it's like the guy doesn't want to play here.
I'm just saying the owner doesn't like to spend money and be aggressive. You think how Gensel and Rantanen have turned out, he's going to want to continue to be aggressive? He's like, fuck this. We tried this twice. This hasn't worked.
In trading Callum Ritchie in the first for Nelson and his 0 goals this postseason is low. It's horrible. Like, here's the thing. Like,
and everyone wanted Brock Nelson, so I'm not just going to shit on Colorado. There's a lot of teams that wanted
Brock Nelson's a good player, so I'm not going to shit on him for that move.
Charlie Coyle was also really bad.
And
I thought Cale Makar was not good.
And I'll say this right now. He's probably going to end up winning it, but I don't think Makar should be the Norris this year.
Werenski.
I think it should be Werenski.
I agree.
Because Makar is going to have another chance to win this award year after year after year after year. I think Werenski deserves it this year.
I'm still with Makar. I know a lot of you guys in our community are with Werenski.
I think he's the best defenseman in the world. It's not even close.
I think this is where you look back and you don't give Makar this year. It's like voter fatigue things. And I understand what Werenski's done.
But that's fine. But Werenski legitimately carried his fucking team.
Was Makar hurt?
But I want Makar, and Cody loves Lidstrom, and I do too. I want him to kind of try to level up with him and see what
he's not going to level up with him.
Was Cale
never level up with him
in this round?
I don't know, but he played like shit.
Yeah, there's no
Cale
way.
Makar should not be in the same conversation as Nicholas Lidstrom because Makar still is not that great in his own end.
You're with Ken on that. I don't know.
I disagree.
Me and Ryan.
He's not Lidstrom at fucking all.
There's a lot of guys
in his own end.
Cody loves the defense position. There's a lot of guys in today's day and age that aren't good in their own end. A lot of nights.
Give me Quinn Hughes over Cale Makar. I'm putting my stake in the round right here.
That's considered an all-time great. That wasn't too good in his own end, right, Kirby?
Who's that?
I know somebody that used to wears number 65 who's an all-time great.
Oh yeah,
and that's not.
And talk about him as an all-time.
There's also a guy in New Jersey.
I don't think Cody watched as many games as I did with him. Yeah, I like to hate watch, but watched him quite a bit.
Hey,
let's kind of go into paying some bills here, guys.
Panthers fever is here. Are you geared up? Caneswear in Davie is the place for all your Florida Panthers needs. They have the latest gear for our favorite NHL team. Jerseys, polos, t-shirts, hoodies, hats, and more. Caneswear has you covered. Stop by their store in Davie or at pantherswear.com. Again, that's pantherswear, WEAR.com for all your Panthers gear.
Thank you. And a shout out to our other sponsor, Jeremy Beckham. Hey, Panthers fans, in South Florida need real estate help? Check out Jeremy Beckham with Next Home Treasure Coast. It's a boutique service with a personal touch. Jeremy and his team of humans over houses, working hard for you, whether you're buying or selling. Ready to move? Hit up BeckSellsFLA.com or call 772-475-5371 now. You'll be glad you did. So moving on to the hit totals.
How crazy is that? The first round.
That is
insane.
Over 500 hits delivered out in that first
36 hits per game for St. Louis, 35.5 for Winnipeg.
And when you consider the...
I love this series from game one. St. Louis.
I think it was this probably your favorite series out of the first round?
I would say so.
No.
No?
Really?
I'm going abs color. I'm going abs Dallas.
That's you guys
individual. those individual games, I don't think were as good as these. Actually,
Yeah, but
none of us picked St. Louis, and maybe we're disrespect. Oh, well, they're not
Yeah.
going to move it on in advance here. But if they did,
we didn't
would any
disrespect
of
them
us
if they
pick-
lost.
I'd almost think they won this.
But
series.
we all.
But
But
any of us picked them though because they were playing really good hockey, Cody. You
Yeah.
just said stuff
I
about
said
Colorado.
Winnipeg in 7 because of St. Louis playing very good hockey.
No, but would you
Well,
guys?
and Binnington. How about Jordan Binnington?
Dallas?
How about
Yeah.
Jordan Binnington? How good was he this
Yeah.
series?
He was really good.
Yeah,
And
How
it-
good was the Blues forwards? How good was Broberg? What are you doing there, Edmonton? Like again,
No,
They were
screw
missing Dylan
Broberg.
Holloway. If Dylan Holloway's in the lineup, maybe they're able to get that extra win.
Hey,
I've heard Blues fans tell me that if Holloway was in the lineup, they were going to win the series.
1.6 seconds away from we're talking about them facing Dallas right now.
yeah.
Yes, that's
And
crazy.
Yep.
that's
And
crazy.
you know that literally irritated me during the last minute. You know, this is why I love Florida's play. They get into the corner and they hold the puck there. They had an opportunity to do that with like 20 seconds to go. And
it
instead of
popped
trying-
out. They
they
tried. It popped out.
They literally tried to clear it though. Instead of just holding, they had an opportunity to hold it. Instead, they tried to move it out and try to clear the puck.
Caesar doesn't remember Roberto Luongo 1.0 era with Brian Allen and
but
or the Brad-
Buchnevich having the space.
He could have skated to the red line.
That's what I'm
and
more
flipped
mad
it
at
in
on
deep,
St. Louis.
and that game would have been over.
But I have a question for you guys. Who led the Blues in points this series?
Cam
Yeah.
Fowler.
Yes, sir.
What a pickup.
You
Kirby's favorite right
You
there.
want to talk about Broberg? Talk about this guy right here, Cam fucking Fowler.
I don't see anything. Hold on a minute.
There,
There
it
we
is.
go.
There it is. Look at
Why
that.
is Eric Goodbranson draft class?
Probably should have drafted him over fucking
Those are
Goodbranson.
Brandon Montour.
Everyone forgets about Brandon Gormley, but anyways.
Oh,
But-
gosh.
But Kirby was namely not a fan of this pickup by St. Louis, but boy, had he been the revelation for him.
Well, maybe he's the Torrey Krug replacement. I'm not the biggest Krug fan, but they're able to pivot to Fowler there. Yeah, he's played better than I would have thought. But Parayko's had a bounce back year. Broberg looks really good and established.
Yep.
I thought Broberg's a number 2, number 3 defenseman. Like
But-
I had
Very
no
true.
question.
But the
He
real
was impressive last year in the Cup final too, which
Yeah.
is why I was a little surprised why they didn't pay him, because it's like you're not going to get a better defenseman than Philip Broberg. I thought,
Well, it's a little too much money. You got to pay for defensemen. The
yeah,
cap-
I mean, it is what it is, right? And now they go get Jeff Skinner and Victor Arvidsson. They move out CC, and then they lose who they lose. But at the end of the day, they're playing in the second round, and St. Louis.
and the
isn't.
Oilers aren't historically good at finding defensemen. And the ones they do, some of them they overpay.
Broberg's development was stunted a bit
Yeah.
early on.
but I think the revelation for St. Louis, and once again, he didn't play in this series, Dylan Holloway. I mean, jumping from 9 points in 38 games and 9 points in 51 games to 63 and 77. If there was an NHL Most Improved Player award, he'd fucking win it.
And guys like Robert Thomas, very close with the Kachuk fan.
Who's winning the lottery tomorrow?
What
I
a
don't
play.
know. San Jose.
I don't even know.
I haven't looked at it enough.
I don't even know who has the best odds. Like,
Is it still San Jose or is Buffalo in there?
I don't think Buffalo's in there. They had a really good run.
Who's even gonna go first? Schaefer?
I think.
That's a good question.
That's gonna see. I don't know. Maybe I'll be able to answer that tomorrow.
Well, that stat's irrelevant now, Caesar. That was heading.
It's
Let's hope not Boston. I'll leave Chicago a little bit.
If
back.
it is Boston, we're never going to hear the end of it.
If Chicago got that pick, I
Oh,
mean,
we're so back. I'm like,
you
calm
know
down.
what? You know what? If it was a draft year for Boston to have it, I want it to be this one.
Yeah, I don't think this is. I mean, Schaefer's a good player, right? But I don't even know anything. I don't know a damn thing about prospects. Don't listen to what I say.
and then the American out of is it BC, Boston?
Is our prospect nerd Vincent here in the chat?
No,
Vince
he's-
doesn't love
No,
this.
I don't think Miro Heiskin is close to McCarr.
Higgins is the other guy.
I
There's-
think Cale McCarr is in a league of his own. I don't think it's close. I don't think Quinn Hughes. I don't think anybody else is anything close to Cale McCarr. I don't care what Cody says. He's good in his own end. He's
Yep.
generational offensive talent. Cale McCarr is the best defenseman. He might be up there to be one of the best players in the NHL. Never mind
Yeah.
defense. There's not a close second. It's Cale McCarr, then it's everybody else in their own tiers or whatever.
Yeah.
That's my opinion.
Yeah.
And I don't care what anybody says.
Hey,
You
and
can shake your head all you want.
but
That's fact.
Because I remember other people were like, Adam Fox is as good as
bullshit.
him. And
Quinn
what
Hughes.
was the other guy? Charlie McAvoy and all this stuff. I'm like, give me a
No, Quinn Hughes is in the conversation.
No, he's not. Quinn Hughes, after that performance in the playoffs last year, I don't ever want to hear.
I want Quinn Hughes to go to New Jersey. Then Cody's going to buy a Quinn Hughes New Jersey Devils jersey.
I will not. New Jersey
Can
be
they
the
get any
worst.
softer?
Yeah.
Can they get any softer?
New Jersey be the worst place for him to go.
That's where he wants to go. Vancouver fans are melting down right now. Robert in our community, he's just gonna give up on the Canucks. I don't know where Cody's girlfriend's with that or Cody's family. I better check in with my family.
Tampa Bay's prospects kind of going. We're going. Number one prospect is he's not signing with Tampa, from what I'm hearing.
Yeah, it's been pretty much confirmed for like 2 weeks.
But where do you guys think he would sign?
Before we do Parrish, if you rewind the video, we all gave our picks for the second round.
It's different for all of us, so I couldn't really.
Well, me and
Kirby and I have the same. We have.
No, you and Cody.
Me and Cody. I mean, yeah, me and Cody.
Me and Kirby versus Caesar and Cody.
Like the only one where we're all 100. There's only two teams that we're all like 100% aboard on is Winnipeg and Toronto, and then the other two are just kind of coin flips. But where would he? I have no fucking clue because I don't know what he's looking for.
Is he one of those? Is he looking for a big market? Like, did he grow up a Ranger fan or something?
No, I'm not getting. I get that. I think I'm getting the playing time vibe.
Really, you would think Tampa would be able to give him playing time. But if I were them, I would move Isaac Howard for a defenseman. I think this is a golden opportunity for Tampa to get a defenseman that they wouldn't have had to get if they had just
didn't.
There's some goalies that got taken up in Colorado and San Jose now. There were some that were open. You know, I don't know if there's going to be many open this summer. Calgary's is taken up now by Wolf. There's not a lot out there. You know, I don't think.
What are you talking about?
For goalie chairs open for teams for playing time.
Isaac Howard's
is not a goalie.
What?
He's not a goalie.
Howard's a forward, Kirby.
Oh, you're talking. Okay. Sorry, I was way off.
What the hell are you talking about?
Like
Kirby
like,
pulled his teaser there.
Like I have no idea where he would go. Not a clue. Like
I'm going to be honest. If I wish we kind of had a problem like this, where we could trade a forward for a young defenseman.
Yeah, but they picked a first round guy more recently than we have.
A perfect team for us would have been Montreal, but it's so risky trading into
Mackey for Gooley.
I like Gooley, but
you don't want to upset the fans there, do you?
But
no comment. Anyway.
We got about 3 minutes, boys. Anything else that you guys want to cover? Anything else?
Anything else that was in our folder there? I don't know. In our
Paul Maurice.
We're gonna end it with that. So,
well, let's get everybody's predictions for.
I thought we might have ended it with some Charlotte checkers there. I thought, Jamie.
Oh gosh. Well, it's 12:38 on the East Coast. Nobody cares. Mountain time. But what is everybody's prediction for today's game?
I even thought that of that.
I have zero fucking clue.
I don't have any. I don't want to throw out there, really.
Yeah,
Please come out and play in that first.
Just play Florida Panther hockey,
like you did when you played Toronto last time with Nick Cousins, Bennett, and Kachuk throwing their body around.
And you know what, everybody? It's game day. We got the holy water ready to go.
Fuck it, because if I say this, I'm either going to be
No,
right.
Leafs Illuminati's doing the same thing.
Fuck it, because if I say it like this, I'm either going to be right or I'm going to be happy and wrong. Give me 5-2 Maple Leafs.
Ooh, that high of a score? Okay.
I just dropped the holy water when I heard that.
5-2. Wow.
Well, you guys were really. You guys
were
all wrong.
Let's go. I don't know who's
5-2.
The Panthers,
but it's not.
Craig Berube and Maurice want to show that they can lock it down.
It's not like it's a 5-2 with 2 empty netters.
Now watch Anthony Stolarz allow 1 or 2 stinky goals. That's not on me for my.
I think it's going to be Florida 3-2.
I
think it's going to be a lot closer.
With me,
I've been right for game. I was the only one right for game 1. Kirby, I don't care what you say. You said we were going to lose game 1. Yep.
I thought we were playing in the afternoon, though.
Yeah, but then even on Tuesday, you said you feel better, but you still predict Tampa. I'm going to predict Florida in this one. Now, again,
I'm leaning there.
I said I felt good for games 1. I said I felt good for game 2. I did not feel good for game 3. I didn't really have a feel on game 4. Game 5, I thought we had. So I don't have as good a feel right now, but as of right now, I'm going to go with the Cats. But that could change.
You're the one asking us for the predictions here.
Yeah.
Well, I've only gotten 1. Well, 2.
But even if, I think Paul Maurice wants to come out good in game 1 because you look at it, what is it, like around 72%? It might be higher than that. Teams that win game 1 win the series. I know it doesn't all depend on that. Look at what happened with Boston a couple of years ago. We didn't win game 1. But I think it is important to come out and, state your position in this series and try to get a win here in game 1. So whether we split the series, I'm fine with that going back home.
Kirby, we got the holy water ready to go. So this is big. This is big.
Flip it, Caesar.
All right, I'm cooked, yo.
Anything else, gentlemen? Thank you, chat, for all the.
I'm good. You get in everything, Caesar.
Look out for the new podcast episode. It'll be dropping on Spotify at around 6 a.m. and the YouTube version will be dropping at 8 a.m. So be on the lookout for that. We had a blast recording it with our boy Zach. It's a long. I think this might be our longest podcast we've ever released.
2 hours long.
It's not bad. Like an hour 45 is like that's pushing.
But it's a pretty entertaining 2 hours. Thanks again for everybody watching. I'm cooked. I'm tired.
Longer day than we expected, but that's all right.
Now we can rest and watch the game. We'll be back tomorrow night.
Yeah, watch what fucking game.
Have a good night, everybody. Kirby, I'll call you in 5 minutes.
No.
Fuckers, pay attention. Nobody's hit a fucking thing. You get a 3-1 lead, and now you want to make plays. Fuck the plays. Pound their fucking D. So in game 7, they got nothing.
What's up, Cats and Rats fans? If you enjoyed that video, be sure to hit the like and subscribe button before you head out. If you're listening to us on Apple and Spotify, make sure you leave us a 5-star review. And just like always, let's go Cats.